The text came in while I was microwaving leftover chili. Hey, guess what? Smiley face. I quit today. I'm finally doing me. Gonna take a few months to figure things out. Can I stay with you if I need? I didn't even blink. Not my problem. Sent. My name's Alex. I'm 32, live in Seattle, and I've been carrying this family's crap on my back since I was old enough to understand what a late fee was. Jenna's my younger sister by 5 years, and somehow she's never had to finish anything she starts. Quick note before we get deep into this mess. Before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. 10 minutes after I shut her down, I opened my laptop and finally clicked accept on the job offer I'd been sitting on for nearly a year. Senior Finance Analyst, Hong Kong. Starts Monday. 2 minutes later, Mom lit up my phone. If you don't help your sister, you're not welcome at Thanksgiving. And don't come crying when the family turns their back on you. That was the moment, the exact second I knew I was done. I didn't yell. I didn't explain. I just stood up, walked into my bedroom, and pulled out my old binder with every shared bill, login, and account I'd been managing for the last 10 years. Family phone plan? Transferred. Jenna's car insurance I was still paying for, just temporarily? Canceled. Spotify? Gone. Utilities for Mom's house I've been helping with since college? Removed my card. Within 20 minutes, my phone started blowing up. Calls from Jenna, Mom, even Aunt Rose. I didn't answer a single one. The silence in my apartment was louder than I expected. I stood there, listening to my phone vibrate nonstop on the kitchen counter, and for a second, I felt like I could breathe again. I've always been the useful one, the one who makes spreadsheets for vacations, brings folding chairs to family cookouts, remembers birthdays and electric bill due dates. I'm not the favorite, that's Jenna. I'm the backup plan, the emergency contact, but not anymore. I walked over, flipped my phone face down, and opened my banking app. There were still a few autopays I had to shut down. I clicked through them one by one. No rage, no guilt, just clarity. The chili was cold now. I didn't care. I'd finally said no, not just in words, but in action. And it felt like I'd found the off switch on a machine I didn't even realize I was plugged into. I thought about that Sunday dinner while I was shutting off Jenna's car insurance. It wasn't even that long ago, maybe 6 months. I'd shown up early, like always. Mom likes help in the kitchen even if she never says it. I was chopping onions while she pan-fried chicken in a cast iron that was older than me. Aunt Rose sat at the table scrolling through her tablet, humming along to some old Fleetwood Mac song. Smells amazing, I said, tossing the chopped onions into the pan. Mom gave me a tight smile. Glad someone appreciates it. Jenna walked in 40 minutes late, sunglasses still on, like she was being chased by paparazzi. First words out of her mouth, "Do you have lemon water?" Not tap, I need filtered. My gut's been off all week. Not even a hello. She flopped onto the couch, kicked her shoes off, and started scrolling on her phone. You look great, Aunt Rose said, standing up to give her a hug. Very zen. I'm just really aligned right now, Jenna said without looking up. Been journaling, doing somatic breath work, that kind of thing. They ate it up. Mom turned down the stove and joined them like she hadn't been complaining about her knees for the last hour. She's finding herself, Mom said proudly. It takes courage to step away from the grind. Aunt Rose nodded like she was watching a TED Talk. I wiped my hands on a towel. Actually, I've been looking at a position overseas. It's with a logistics firm in Hong Kong. Good salary, housing stipend. Mom waved her hand like she was swatting away a fly. Alex, your sister needs you right now. Let's not talk about you running off to another country. I didn't respond right away, just stood there holding the towel, looking at all of them sunk into the couch like royalty. Jenna stretched out like a cat. Seriously, Alex, when are you gonna stop being so rigid? Just live a little. You've been saving since you were 15. What's the point if you never do anything spontaneous? I wanted to say something smart, something that would hit and stick, but I just turned around and went back to the kitchen. That's what I always did. After dinner, I brought out the cheesecake I picked up from that little place in Ballard. Nobody asked who brought it. Jenna took the first slice. They were still talking about her journey, about how freeing it must be to not have it all figured out. Nobody asked me how I was. Nobody asked about the job. I sat at the far end of the table, scraping the foil off the bottom of the cheesecake tin while they passed around Jenna's astrology chart. I knew my role, always have. I'm the dependable one, the stable one, not brilliant, not brave, just there. Even when I try to share something big, it gets brushed aside for whatever Jenna's trying this month. I'm not the one they worry about. I'm the one they lean on so they can worry about her. After dessert, I loaded the dishwasher, bagged up leftovers, and wiped down the counters. Jenna left with a Tupperware full of chicken, complaining about how tight her hip flexors felt. Aunt Rose gave me a side hug and said, "You're such a rock, Alex. Never change." I smiled like that was a compliment. I didn't start tracking the money until year 4. At first, it was just the family phone plan. I was 21, fresh out of college, living at home to get on my feet, but mostly to help with the mortgage. The deal was I'd stay for 6 months, pitch in a bit, then move out. That 6 months turned into 3 years. Mom called it a blessing to have me there. Jenna was in her sophomore slump at some artsy liberal arts school in Vermont, switching majors like socks. Money was tight, so I covered the electric, then the gas. Then Jenna's car broke down. "She's not as good with numbers as you," Mom said. "You're so organized, Alex. Can you just take care of it and we'll sort it out later?" Later never came. That phrase, "you're good with money," that was the sugar they coated every ask in. Like being responsible meant I owed them a cut. When Jenna dropped out to explore her creative side, I covered her cell bill so she could stay connected during her transition. Transition to what nobody ever said. She tried opening a bakery first. Had a name, logo, and a website. No actual location. She baked banana bread in Mom's kitchen and sold 3 loaves to some yoga moms from Facebook Marketplace. Next came the wellness coaching phase. She bought crystals. Took an online course for $499. Said she was building a brand. "Just need a little cushion for supplies," she texted one night. "You'll get it back once I launch." I Venmo'd her $100. Never saw it again. After that, it was the travel blog. She flew to Mexico, Bali, and somewhere in Utah. Said she was writing pieces for a soul work platform. I covered her travel insurance. I was worried about emergencies. She posted photos of hammocks and smoothies while I pulled overtime. Every time I tried to draw a line, it turned into a character flaw. Sent her a Venmo request once for half of a group dinner she invited me to, then bailed on. She texted back, "Wow, didn't think you were the type to nickel and dime your own sister. Tried bringing it up with Mom." She said, "Alex, you're so clinical about everything. Can't you just help without keeping score?" That's when I started the list. I opened the Notes app on my phone and titled it, "Outstanding." Just one word, plain. Each item was a dollar amount, a date, and a short description. Phone bill, Jenna, $87.30. Car repair fronted, Jenna, $450. Grocery split never paid, Mom/Jenna, $112.18. Some had stars next to them. The stars meant I'd never see that money again. I didn't expect to. I just wanted the truth somewhere in writing. The list got longer every year. There were times I thought I was going crazy. Times I wondered if I was selfish for even noticing. But the thing is, favors stopped being favors when they became expected. I'd come home from work and find Amazon packages on the porch with Jenna's name on them, paid for with my Prime account. She'd thank me like I was her assistant. "You're a lifesaver, Alex." Mom would say, "It's so generous of you to help her chase her dreams. She'll pay it forward." But I wasn't seeing anything come forward. Just more asks, more assumptions. One time I told Jenna no. She wanted to borrow $500 for a sound healing retreat. I said I was tight that month. She laughed and said, "You? Tight? Please, you just don't want to help." That's when I realized it had nothing to do with money. It was about access. They were used to me being available, used to me saying yes. The more I said yes, the less they saw it. The less I said yes, the more I got labeled the cold one. So I stopped arguing. I just documented. Every transaction went in the note. Every unreturned loan got a star. Every boundary that got pushed became part of the pattern. Eventually, the pattern became policy. If I didn't write it down, they'd pretend it didn't happen. If I didn't start protecting myself, no one else would. The binder was white, glossy. Jenna slid it across the dining table like it was a wedding album. "Studio plan," she said, grinning like she already owned the building. "It's time." Mom sat down next to her, nodding like she was at a graduation. Dad poured himself a whiskey and took the seat across from me. Nobody touched the chicken parm I brought. "Go ahead, flip through it," Jenna said. I opened the first page. Mission statement. Wellness studio with yoga, breathwork, sound baths, and healing integration. There was a logo, her initials in a sage green circle, and a tagline underneath, "Come home to yourself." I kept turning. Class schedules, pricing tiers, mock social media campaigns. Then the real part, the loan breakdown. Total, $150,000. Lender, private business growth program. Guarantor required. Yes, I froze. "You're serious," I said. Mom folded her hands. "It's just a signature, Alex. They need someone reliable on paper. Reliable, I repeated. You mean someone who'll be on the hook if this crashes? Dad leaned back. It's a formality. You've got excellent credit. Jenna's finally putting down roots. This is big. Jenna beamed like we were at a ribbon cutting. You want me to co-sign a $150,000 loan, I said slowly, for a wellness studio that doesn't exist yet, with no backup income and no business experience? She blinked. I've been preparing for this for years. You've seen my Instagram. I have a following. People trust me. Mom put a hand on mine. She's worked really hard on this. It would mean a lot if you'd just back her. She needs support. I pulled my hand away. I'm not doing it. The room went still. What do you mean? Jenna asked like I hadn't just said it. I mean, I'm not signing anything. I'm not guaranteeing a six-figure loan for something I don't believe in. I'm not risking my future on another one of your hobbies. Her face snapped. It's not a hobby. This is my purpose. I stood up. Then fund it yourself. You're being tight, she snapped. You're sitting on savings and acting like a banker. This is family. This is a financial contract, I said. You're asking me to carry all the risk while you post sage smoke reels and call it healing. She pushed back her chair. You always do this. Act like you're better than everyone because you can use a calculator. Dad stood up. Okay, let's cool it. No, Jenna said, grabbing the binder. He made himself clear. He doesn't believe in me. She stormed out. Mom glared at me. I hope you're proud of yourself. That night, it started. Voice notes from Jenna. You abandoned me. I thought you were the one person who actually cared. Mom posted a photo of Jenna as a kid in her dance costume with a caption about dreamers needing defenders. Aunt Rose texted me something long and vague about stepping into my heart space. Then Caleb jumped in. He posted some quote card story on Instagram. Real men protect women's visions, not tear them down. I didn't even know the guy lived here now. My phone buzzed nonstop until midnight. I turned on Do Not Disturb. I stared at the ceiling for an hour, remembering every time I'd said yes out of guilt. Every time I told myself it was just money, just temporary, just helping. And here I was, the villain, again. I opened the Notes app, added a new line, refused to sign loan, full family backlash. No dollar amount this time, just proof. But I didn't fold. This time I held the line. By morning, the group chat had gone quiet. No more paragraphs, no half-assed heart emojis, just silence. Then Jenna texted me directly. I'm quitting today. You'll support us while I find myself. No please, no question mark, just you'll support us, like she'd already drafted the deposit slip. I didn't hesitate. Not my problem. Sent. Then I opened my inbox, scrolled down to the flagged email I'd saved 6 months ago, and clicked the green button that said, Accept offer. Job in Hong Kong. Starts in 5 days. I stared at the screen for a second, then leaned back in my chair. The room felt still, not peaceful but stripped, like when you finally shut off a noise you didn't realize had been running for hours. The next text came in under a minute. If you walk away like this, don't bother coming to Thanksgiving. Mom. That one actually made me laugh, out loud. The kind of laugh that surprised me. The kind I hadn't heard from myself in years. My phone lit up again. FaceTime. Family. I should have hit decline, but I didn't. I answered. There they were. Mom, Jenna, Dad, even Aunt Rose awkwardly leaning in from the side. Mom started first. Alex, we're giving you a chance to fix this. No one wants things to get ugly. I tilted the phone so they could see my face. You think I'm the one who made it ugly? Jenna jumped in. I can't believe you're doing this over a signature. Do you know how cold you've become? I'm not cold, I said calm. I'm done. Dad raised his eyebrows. Done with what? Your family? No, I said. Done being the plan. They all blinked. I'm not your guarantor, I said. Not your salary. Not your backup account. Not your buffer zone. Not your guilt ATM. I'm your brother. That's it. Mom started to cry, but I wasn't moved. Not this time. I gave what I could, for years, and every time I said yes, it just moved the goalpost. I'm not the one quitting, Jenna. You are. Again. Jenna stared straight at me, eyes hard. Wow, you're really leaving. Yeah, I said. I leave Monday. Aunt Rose opened her mouth like she wanted to mediate, but I ended the call before she got the chance. No second guessing, no explaining. I just sat there, holding the phone in my hand, watching the little FaceTime screen fade to black. Then I opened the calendar on my laptop, marked the move date, set reminders to shut off the last few things I was still paying for. A message came through from Caleb, some recycled quote about abandonment being a form of abuse. I blocked him. Then I went to the kitchen, made a sandwich, and ate it in full silence. No TV, No noise, just the sound of my own chewing. It was the best lunch I'd had in years. After that sandwich, I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't scroll. I just sat still. Then I got up, grabbed my laptop, and started cutting the last cords. First stop, the family phone plan. I'd been the account holder since I was 23. Mom, Jenna, and Aunt Rose were all under it. I pulled up the provider, logged in, and one by one, I transferred their lines to individual accounts. No warning, no ceremony, just not my responsibility anymore. Next, the insurance dashboard. I had a bundle, my car, renters, and Jenna's. I clicked through and removed her vehicle. No gaps, no grace period. If she wanted coverage, she could make the call. Then utilities. I still had my card linked to Mom's gas and electric accounts from when I lived there. I didn't even remember doing it, it just stayed on autopay. I took myself off both, then emailed customer service to confirm I was no longer responsible. Streaming services, gone. I changed the password on Netflix, canceled the Spotify family plan. They'd notice next time they couldn't log in to play their deep healing playlists. I opened my bank app and moved my emergency fund to a brand new account at a credit union across town. Different login, different security questions, different everything. Then I froze my credit. I wanted no surprises, no last-minute pulls, no sudden new cards under my name. I wasn't taking any more chances. Every step I documented in my notes app. I started calling it the breakaway log. Removed, Jenna's phone line. Removed, Mom's gas bill autodraft. Locked, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Line by line, I was reclaiming every inch of my life. My phone vibrated nonstop on the table. I ignored it. By the time I reached the bottom of the to-do list, I checked the call log. 43 missed calls. Voicemails came in waves. Jenna screaming, Mom crying, Caleb talking like a TEDx coach. One voicemail stood out. Aunt Rose, soft voice, no demands. Just, Alex, I get it, but maybe don't burn everything down, okay? Just call me. I didn't, because I knew what came after that softness. Guilt in the form of grace, a gentle pull back into the same trap. I put the phone on airplane mode and tossed it into the drawer. First time in years I went to bed without it next to me. No buzzing, no alerts, no screen glow in the dark. I laid there in the quiet, arms behind my head, staring up at the ceiling. No one could reach me. And for the first time, that didn't feel scary, felt earned. The only sound was the dull hum of my fridge kicking on, and even that felt like a reset. I'd unplugged from more than bills and accounts that night. I'd unplugged from obligation. I woke up with the sun cutting across my face and no phone alarm for the first time in years. It was quiet, too quiet. I opened the drawer and turned the phone back on. 143 unread messages. The group chat was lit up. Jenna, Mom, Aunt Rose, even Caleb, all of them coming in hot. Coward, how could you abandon your blood? We were counting on you. Why are you doing this to us? Caleb had posted a full video rant on Instagram. I only saw the thumbnail, him standing in front of a punching bag, shirtless. Caption read, Real men don't run from family. Real men protect their tribe. Jenna followed up with a photo of her holding our childhood dog, a 12-year-old golden retriever, with the caption, He misses Uncle Alex. But some people only love you when you're convenient. I stared at it, thumb hovering over the screen. Blocked both of them. Mid-scroll, I heard pounding at the door. Not a knock, not a doorbell, a full-on pound. I looked through the peephole. Dad, red-faced, stiff jaw, knuckles still pressed to the door. I didn't open it. He stood there a full minute, then walked away without a word. Another round of messages came in. You'll regret this. What happened to you? This isn't who you are. I responded to each one by one. Boundaries, policies protect me. Because I'm not the plan. Nothing more, nothing extra, just truth. Around lunchtime, a PDF came through from Jenna. No message, just the file. Contract agreement, loan guarantor addendum. Deadline listed, 5 p.m. today. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. I replied, no. I said no. Stop sending paperwork. She replied instantly, You're killing everything. I replied, no, I'm letting it die on its own. Then I muted the thread. I stood up, stretched, and packed another box. Travel adapters, socks, toothpaste. The phone buzzed one more time, this time from Mom. A single line, We're trying to give you one last chance to fix this. I replied, I don't want another chance to be your backup plan. There was no follow-up after that, just silence. The kind that didn't beg for answers. The kind that meant they finally heard me, even if they didn't like it. That evening, I got a text from Jenna. Family meeting tonight at 7. Mandatory. Mandatory. For a meeting I wasn't invited to. The messages started coming in around 6:58. A group pic of them all sitting around the table. Mom, Dad, Jenna, Aunt Rose, even Caleb, arms crossed like some bootleg board member. Then came the live updates. We're reviewing the binder again. Mom's giving final thoughts. We're drafting the new terms. You can still sign. I didn't reply. I was in my closet, folding clothes into one small suitcase. At 8:12, Mom texted, "Last offer. Sign before Sunday and we'll move forward as a family." I put the phone on the counter, sat down, thought about nothing, then picked it up and typed, "No." 30 seconds later, she wrote back, "We won't forget this." I replied, "Me either." That was the last thing I said to any of them. I kept packing. The things I needed fit into two piles, what went into the suitcase and what went to the donation bin. Old shirts I hadn't worn in years. Books I'd only bought to look smart. A blender Jenna gave me for Christmas 5 years ago. One I knew she got with my own Amazon Prime account. I made a trip to the storage unit the next morning, dumped the extras, and closed the door on it all. On the walk back, I passed the bar near my place. Caleb was out front, drinking with a few guys, loud and shirtless again like it was his brand. He didn't see me, or maybe he did and didn't care. Didn't matter either way. He had that look, carefree, unbothered, like responsibility was just something for people without followers. I kept walking. Back at my apartment, I printed my boarding pass, grabbed a piece of masking tape, and stuck it to the front door. There was something final about it. Not dramatic, just solid, like putting a seal on a box that was finally full. I looked at it for a long time. Flight number, gate, time. I could breathe again, and this time it felt like mine. I woke up before the alarm. Didn't need it. My bag was already by the door. I tossed the last of my keys into a drawer I wouldn't open again, zipped the suitcase, and walked out. The train station was quiet. Gray light, half-asleep commuters, the smell of burnt coffee and wet concrete. I didn't talk to anyone, just boarded, found my seat, and watched Seattle fade through the fogged-up window. 3 hours later, I stepped into my new city. Different air. No history in it. The apartment was nothing special. White walls, small kitchen, low water pressure. But it was mine. Nobody else's name was on a single thing. First stop was the corner shop. I bought a plant, a cheap kettle, and a frozen dinner I didn't have to share. Back at the apartment, I sat down at the kitchen table and opened my spreadsheet. 5 bills, all mine. Rent, power, water, internet, phone. No extra lines, no shared tabs, just clean rows. That's when the text came in. From Jenna. Turkey emoji. Then, "Are you happy?" I stared at it for a while, then typed back, "I hope you find what you're looking for. I can't fund the search." No reply. Thanksgiving came and went. I made myself a plate, rotisserie chicken, box stuffing, 1 cold beer. Then I FaceTimed Mike from college. We talked for an hour. He cracked jokes, I laughed. Real laughter. The kind that starts in your chest, not in your throat. After the call, I sat back, opened my notes app, and created one last list. Rules for my peace. If it costs my sanity, it's too expensive. Nobody gets unlimited access. Kindness is not obligation. Saying no is a full sentence. And at the bottom, one line I'd waited my whole life to write. "I will love you without paying for you." I closed the app, breathed in. I was finally not the plan.